Let's see how long I can go live today. But today we're going to do something a little different. And that's why I kind of called it a Wildcard Wednesday. And it's more, it's less of a webinar and more of me just going like, what is going on in my life that is impactful, what is going on in other people's lives that I could also use my, what do they say, turn your mess into your message. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently. And I'm here with Tuesday. You guys know Tuesday. And if you don't, welcome to the program. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that this is my little miniature horse Tuesday. She's a little rock star and a nugget. And this over here, this is Peach. And Peach is who I'm really going to be talking about today, but it comes in conjunction with Tuesday. Like there's a reason Peach is standing over there. And that's what I want to dive into. And if you've watched any of my content, you know that like some of the things are around like personas and understanding how we can um like understand ourselves at a deeper level, like knowing who you are, like and knowing what motivates you. Like I'm watching this little nugget, and if I get too close to Peach, like Tuesday's not gonna tolerate that. She's gonna be like, "Get out of here, Peach. I want the cookie for mom." Right? And so when you start thinking about confidence, this is what I want to think about. I think most of you guys are gonna wake up in the morning. I don't know. Some of you guys might, but I know this was me for a long, long time. And it doesn't just come naturally, especially after a certain age. You have to start rewiring yourself. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I am feeling confident today. I am feeling alive. I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling like I really want to change the world, right? And then life, and then the coffee spills, or then something happens, and it taps into what we call, our belief systems or BS, right? And I hear a lot of great speakers talk about confidence, but it's such a slippery slope, especially if you are in a position in your life where you're not confident. Like this little nugget here, her name is Peach, and she's been here at the rescue with us. And the reason I bring it up is because confidence looks different in different personality types. And I have a quiz, you can go take it, figure out what your persona is, and get a little report, whatever. But what does your personality look like, and why does it matter? Like she's been confident forever, right? She was kind of born this way, right? But a lot of us deal with anxiety. A lot of us deal with different issues. Like she's like, I have no problem telling you what for, right? And it is, the most certain one in the room wins. The most certain one in the room. And right now, Tuesday, right? And it's not about like trying to make sure that you're understanding, because I want to give you like three really good pieces of information today. So like, first off, confidence is a skill. You're born with it. Sure, like like Tuesday is really very innately confident, but I got her when she was 3. And so there's certain things that make up your characteristics. And sometimes if you're not confident, then your characteristics don't show up the same way. And we talk about this in my mastermind. So I'm launching. I've got my next mastermind coming up in January. So make sure you're staying tuned for that. We're really going to dive deep into things like confidence. If you're confident, what do? You easily and effortlessly take action, right? And so what do you do if you're not confident? You question whether or not you should take that action, right? And there's a lot of things. Like, have anybody here ever have, you know, imposter syndrome or a ton of self-doubt? Well, what I'm doing here with Peach is like Tuesday is not having it. Tuesday is not going to allow Peach to come over to me because I have a cookie. So how could we help build her confidence? How can we help build Peach's confidence? Now, there's a certain hierarchy between these two, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, if I wanted to build her confidence in me, I would want to make sure that I'm doing whatever it takes to show her that she has that bad things aren't going to happen. And a lot of times with horses like this, but more importantly, people like this, because that's the big piece. I mean, you guys, I've been doing this for 13 years now, and it's been a lot of trying to figure out how to get the messaging across correctly. Because when people go through my programs, like, see, now she'd be confident, right? For like a nanosecond. But the key that I got. 13 years of doing this, right? I lost a lot of confidence in myself and I've woke up to feeling like a certain way. You ever have that feeling in your gut where you're like, "Oh man, I just got to get through this day." And most of us live like that. Most of us live in that baseline of insecurity and understanding your personality. Like now she won't let me approach her because a little like no, she's like, "I'm out of here, guys. I'm out of here." But she's sticking around. She doesn't have to be this near me. I do have a cookie. But that's the key piece. Like figuring out what will motivate you to actually take the action, whether you're afraid or not. I know I've been afraid a lot in my lifetime. And for those of you that don't know me and a little bit of my backstory or my origin story or whatever you want to call it is, I had um, a really challenging divorce. I woke up to find out he was a financial criminal. And next thing I know, my life as I knew it was completely over. And I ended up homeless out, not out on the street homeless, but homeless. Like, don't know where I'm going to live. Don't know where my next meal's coming from. I don't know, what's going to happen. I'm just, concerned, like, do I have any legal exposure to this craziness? And, he ended up going to prison and I ended up building Xenogen. And it took me years. And confidence it is a skill. And I was actually watching Mr. Beast, who here knows who Mr. Beast is from YouTube. And he was talking about, the 10,000 hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule, right? Like you need 10,000 hours of really dedicated skills. Like you could say I've been playing piano for 10 years, but if all you've been doing is playing chopsticks over and over, then you haven't been playing piano for 10 years. You've just been mucking about, right? And that's kind of my new phrase, like stop mucking about and really figure out what it takes. So he said he says, "No, 10,000 I call bullshit," right? It's actually closer to like 100,000. Like 10,000 is 10,000 hours, that's just the start. And so there is a certain level of desire and there's a certain level of resilience that you must have in order to be able to say, "Okay, I'm feeling confident today." There's a lot of I'm feeling confident today. Like, do you wake up today and go, "I'm feeling confident today. I feel like I'm enough. I feel like how I'm going to show up today is going to be exactly enough and everything's going to work exactly the way it's supposed to," and detaching from the outcome and having the confidence to be out with horses, that takes some confidence too. There's a lot of people who, they're like sans these guys, horses are 1,200-pound flight animals. And there's a lot of controversy around the whole flight animal thing. I think it has to do with some of the domestication. But step into the horse world. If you're not a horse person, you will want to do this. You will want to experience that little nugget. And where's my spicy meatball? This little nugget. Because what they will teach you is about confidence. And what happens too is when you start helping someone, like I'm helping Peach, when you start helping someone, what happens? You start helping yourself. In my mastermind, I have a one of my participants. Like we're talking all the time, back and forth, and we're like, "All right, is this as good for you as it was for me?" And that's the symbiose, and that's the key piece to making sure that you have the opportunity to have confidence. So, all right, now to it. What builds confidence? Reinforcement builds confidence. Now, this is a tricky thing, and I actually was listening to Alex Ramosi talk about dog behavior for a minute, which was cute. And he was like, if you're gonna say, be in a room and someone's gonna shock you, and then he's gonna give you $1 million, and then that's gonna get boring, and then well, if it was your family and they don't get shocked, if you take the shock, like he was kind of going through the whole pain pleasure thing, right? And to boil that down and understand what it looks like when you are trying to build confidence in yourself. I don't know how long this is going to last. Tuesday's over here. She's distracted, right? So how long is that going to last? So I'm going to see if I can't give her a cookie. There we go. And what just happened? Did I build her confidence? Absolutely. Now, if I also protect her from the little monster over here, I'm going to actually even win more points. Because what builds confidence? Reinforcement. It's not reward. It's not reward, guys. It's not the cookie. That might help. That might be some incentive and it might bridge the gap, but it's not the why. It's not the how you build confidence. So let's see if I can't give her another cookie, and then if I can get away with that, then I'll give Tuesday one. Yep. Yeah, now Tuesday came in and butted into the conversations. So I'm not going to. And so it was on me in that moment to say I didn't have there. Now let's see if I can't give her a cookie. See how Tuesday's here. And I'm telling Tuesday, you have to let Peach have a cookie. And Peach is like, I'm not having any part of this conversation. You guys are like a bunch of Greeks and they're throwing plates around, and that's too much for her. So, and if you think about when you are lacking confidence, how do you show up? Like do you step in and get the cookie? Like if all she has to do is walk over and get the cookie, right? I've told her that yeah, here she goes. And she says, oh, that's all I have to do. There we go. Now Tuesday, come here. Tuesday, come here. There we go. And now I can give Tuesday the cookie because Tuesday let Peach have a cookie. You can have that big of a cookie. You can have a little cookie. There we go. So why did I reward Tuesday? Because Tuesday stepped out and let me actually engage with Peach for a half a second, right? And what are you doing to build your confidence? Are you doing like this little nugget that's trying her guts out, even though she's afraid, right? To build your confidence as a skill, it takes courage, and it takes the understanding that whatever's happening in your life is going to change when you confidently, what do we say? We boldly go where no man has gone before, right? And that boldly going where no man has gone before, that's the peace. That's the self-doubt you have to overcome. And what do you do to do that? I'm going to tell you one of the things I've learned. Look at her. Now she's going to be here and have cookies with me. One of the things I've learned about it is that you have to have some kind of story that you can tell yourself. So that's the first thing, is have like some way to interrupt that pattern. I used to write the word stop on my hand in magic marker, and then I would replace the story. But to build your confidence, it takes a lot of effort. And if you don't have the confidence, you gotta find it from somewhere. Oops, sorry, bug. Look at that. That she's trying. Now, this little one, it took us months and months to even get to where we were close to her, right? And using horses as a vehicle to teach personal development has been one of the greatest discoveries of my life. Using horses to teach personal development has been one of the greatest discoveries of my life. Because what these guys will teach you about confidence is everything. Because, yeah, they're powerful. Yes, horses are powerful. Like Tuesday kicked me the other day, and yeah, it didn't break my leg, but it sure hurt, right? But the big ones, like they call it horsepower for a reason. But this is a different kind of horsepower, right? This is the things that you can learn deep in your soul. And, as much as I want to think about like healing with these animals, that's what we do at our retreats. And in order to do that and give like the deepest experience possible, I curated an entire university and program and a 6-week mastermind to teach about what this actually can show you, right? Like how long can she stay here now and be more confident? Now here comes the shark, comes Tuesday back. But she's been over there kind of eating her cookie and doing her thing. So I will reinforce that. We want to talk about rewarding behavior, but I want to reinforce it because they're frenemies, these little nuggets. So Tuesday's going to get another cookie because she let me give Peach one. And now I'll go over and give Peach another cookie. But see how I just, in these incremental processes, you got to go for the little wins. Yeah, we want to have big goals, but the best way to procrastination is to set a goal that's too big. Because you're not going to have the confidence to take the steps necessary for a goal that's too big. And I'm not saying not have like a BHAG, a big hairy ass goal. What I am saying is make sure that whatever that goal looks like is something that you can reverse engineer out and take the steps. That's where the story comes in. That's where the pattern interrupts come in. And as much as I've been studying with entrepreneurs and I've worked with a lot of people over the years, Tony Robbins, obviously, and many others. But the number one thing I keep hearing, like the underlying thread, there's a kid that walks around the school, Hard Knocks, and he's interviewing, high net worth individuals from time to time. And I'm telling you, the one thing is just white knuckling it if you have to, but having that deep level of certainty and knowing. I hate to say this, but hope is for the weak. And that isn't insensitive, it's fact. If you're weak and all you have is hope, then by means, have it. But I say hope is for the weak, belief is for the strong, and knowing is for the wise. But you have to have that knowing before you can actually start believing, taking those steps. I knew that when I knew that I shouldn't take the job at Disney or the high paying, you know, executive job that I could have gotten, out of that situation. I knew that I had to go do something with these guys. And I didn't know what it looked like. I just knew. I just had a knowing. And that knowing is that's your beacon, right? The pain is the paddle and the pleasure is the beacon. Where are you going? Right? So see how she's like hanging out. I guess I got another cookie. I got a pocket full of cookies. And I use cookies very judiciously with horses. I use them for four reasons. I use them, one, to establish a connection, right? Like she's like connecting with me through this cookie. She didn't do anything to earn it. Like she didn't like do a trick or there wasn't a conversation that way. This is a connection cookie. Yeah, you gotta you actually gotta ask for it. So she's gotta ask for it this time. So should I give her the cookie? What do you think, guys? Should I give her the cookie? She's trying. She wants to stay. Tuesday's over on the other side, still munching on her cookie. But see how she's trying to build her confidence. You are seeing confidence being built in real time right now in this little horse. She's doing it in real time. And as she's looking and chewing here, I'm watching and I'm like, the best thing I could do with her right now is just hold still, right? Hold, held, or helped. Most of us don't want to be helped. We just want to be heard and we want to, have space held for us from time to time. Hi, Nug. Hi, sweetie. Hi, girl. Now, like building the confidence is a skill. It's just like going to the gym. And when you first start out doing something, you're going to suck at it and you're going to continue to suck at it until you get more confidence to try different things. Like she's going to sit here and try and be with me. I got a little cookie. I got a cookie here and she can have it, but she's got to touch my hand a little. She's got to put a little bit more effort in. Like she's got to like get past the story that I can't touch her hand for more than a second or something bad's going to happen. And Brene Brown calls it catastrophizing, where you're actually looking to like maybe actually get some pleasure or have a cookie, but you can't allow yourself to do it because you're unconfident in the result. Like she's unconfident in the result right now. You want it? Here, here comes Tuesday. Here, hurry, get it. Hurry. Oh, here comes Tuesday. Tuesday, you're such a monster. So when you look, what are you doing to be confident? What could you do more in a more impactful way to be more confident, right? Do more of it, right? Look at these two. They're little frenemies. Do more of it. Keep going. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, as they say. And I heard something from Alex. Alex, I love you, buddy. He's talking about being an entrepreneur, being like, what taking a risks to follow your passion. And it really says, this whole lie about following your passion is because people need a story as to why they're not taking action to do the other stuff. And they're under the guise that they're following their passion. They want to do what they're good at. Oh, look at those two. Look at them go. Look at them go. Frenemies. I don't know who won that one, but it sure was funny. Like doing the hard things, it's not about doing the hard things. It's about doing the stuff that's boring, doing the stuff that isn't your passion. And when you start doing those things and get better at that kind of stuff, you'll have even more confidence to be able to serve at a higher level, right? So, should we give Tuesday another cookie? All right, we're going to give Tuesday another cookie. And then Tuesday, I'll have her cookie. And then I could go over and give Peach a cookie. Hi, Peach. Hi, Peach. And again, she's only getting the cookie right now to connect, to help do what? Build a connection that she trusts that I'm showing up with something in my hand for her. So if you have friends that are unconfident, like yourself, like we all have levels of unconfidence. If you have that going on, check in and go, who am I hanging out with? Are the people in my life allowing me to be, who I am? Or are they judging me? Are they saying, well, why would you want to do that? And I remember when I got my place in South Florida, that was really hard for me, and I couldn't talk to certain people while I was trying to make that happen because I knew that one little voice that said I should run away and not do it, like what, who's going to mow the grass or whatever. I could not have those voices in my head to derail my confidence. I needed to listen to that one lone voice that's inside me. Right? So that's the second piece. Who are you able to share your stories of unconfidence with? How can you where do you know that you can be safe? And how far out does that go? Or are you catastrophizing your opportunity to have a connection and maybe even a cookie? So I have the 6 C's to a healthy boundary. I have all these things around questions. We talk about a lot of really great in-depth stuff um, that's impactful around this exact topic. So if you are working on confidence, if you're working on building your self-confidence, this is definitely worth checking out because I've gotten so much like my big horse Dante and these little guys, I've gotten such a depth of confidence in myself. Like it's so innate to me to just walk out with a horse. Like I can do it in my sleep. Give me the horse and and a bottle of water and and let me go and some peanut butter M&Ms and M's and let me go. But it didn't happen overnight. I mean, what is 10,000 hours? What, like 8 hours a day for 5 days a week for 4 years? Like that's it. But if you really want to have confidence, then get the master. Master the skill, and it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you keep going. And that's the third piece. Every single entrepreneur that has been successful that I follow or I've read biographies about, you want to become a successful entrepreneur and have deeper relationships with yourself and build that level of confidence to achieve the next level. Read biographies of successful people that have also done the same. I'm reading a great biography right now on the Rockefellers, and it's really great. But it talks about that. You think those guys had any lack of confidence? No. In fact, they were ruthless. The robber barons were ruthless. But it's what built the industrial age and built our civilizations, whether you agree with the value system that they created for our country or not. But here's these guys. They're confident with each other now, aren't they? So there's different areas of confidence that you can have, in yourself and your peer group, and your leaders who you're talking to, right? Like this one, she doesn't care. Look at these two. Says, Mom, give me the cookie. I don't have any more cookies. So what are you doing? Are you know who you're hanging around with? Do you know what stories you're telling yourself? And do you have like that whatever it takes attitude? Like, I'm going to do this no matter what. And if you want to do it with me, I've got my mastermind coming up in January in 6 weeks. It's a 6 week mastermind coming up in January. New year, new you, whatever you want to call it. But learning about what you can learn from these little guys and the big guys, like that's priceless. And I can tell you story after story about so many people that have been here that have had like breakthroughs that have given them the courage to leave a bad marriage or to take that new job or to quit that shitty one. So bringing this to the world is my mission, and ultimately to save horses and ultimately to, support horse rescue, right? Like this little nugget. Both of these guys were rescues, and I've learned priceless lessons from them. Horses are like going to a thrift store and finding an original Fabergé egg. Like that's horses. When I go and I rescue a horse, like this one, she was an orphan. Yeah, I know, and she came to me when she was 3, 3 and a half maybe, and she was brought to me by a woman in a yellow Yaris, backseat of a Yaris or a something like that, one of those little Yugo cars, and I'm like, "What the heck?" So what I've got gained, like someone else's trash is someone else's treasure, like these guys are treasures to me because I've gained so many life skills. I've learned so much about, how to be a better human. I really think about I know in the middle of the night sometimes when I used to, I don't do it anymore. I used to wake up at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, what am I even doing here? I feel like the guy on Shawshank Redemption. I don't belong here. And if you ever have those dark nights of the soul, you're really looking for something to empower yourself. Yeah, come learn it from a horse. Like these what they will teach you. Tuesdays on things like I like, they are so spicy today. So she's done things at retreats in person and um during healing sessions that you can't make up. Like there's no way. And if I hadn't been there personally, I would even be skeptical and she's my horse, you know. But I see it all the time. I see the power that these guys have. Look at how spicy they are today. I wasn't here yesterday, so they're missing mom, especially since I have a pocket full of sunshine in my pocket. But thinking about that, what are you doing to be confident? What does it take to be confident? And are you in any given circumstance? Because like I'm working on a book right now and it's Mark Manson, you're gonna be writing the foreword, I'm telling you, because it's about that. It's about stepping into your power, reclaiming it, and knowing who you are, loving who you are, and believing in who you are. So you can change your life and have a better life. And honestly, at the end of it, if you come to one of my retreats are starting again next year. I'm so excited. We took a year off from retreats pretty much this year, and now we're back doing those starting next spring. And we 6-week mastermind coming up in January to kick off the year. And if you want to learn about how to be a better business owner, a better team leader, a better lover, a better friend, we don't really work on our skills of being a good friend. I mean, that's not like how to be a good friend 101. It wasn't taught in high school. We learned the hard way, you know? I don't know about you, but it's like, has anyone ever sat you down and said, "Hey, do you know what it takes to be a good friend? Boss, leader, colleague, perhaps. But what about being a good friend? And what does it take to do that? And are you confident enough in the who you choose to know that they're going to be a good friend to you too, right? So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to keep this one short today. It's a beautiful day out here in Florida. Little Peach is coming over, although that's going to be short-lived. Tuesday's going to say, "Heck no." But the fact is that she's trying and she's still in the arena. She's still in the game, even though they're being like nuts. Now Tuesday's over there. See, Peach is like she wants to. She wants to, even if it's to check to see if I have a cookie, which I don't. So she came into the danger zone. Here's a perfect example. She came into the danger zone over here. So she's a little worried about whether or not Tuesday's going to come back. So guess what? As her friend, I will take her away from something that she's worried about, and then we'll go over here and have a little snuggle, right? Little snuggle for Peach. Little snuggle. See how she's like she still wants to move her feet back. So, are you a good friend? Are you a good leader? Are you a good boss? Like, are you, what's showing up in your intimate life? Like this one to follow me, even though, yeah, I probably have a little crumb in my pocket I could dig out for her if I wanted to. Like, this is a big deal. After 2.5 months out in a field with a bunch of other horses and minis here at the rescue, it took us a while, and now she could come with us, right? She can come with me and feel safe that her little alligator friend back there isn't messing with her. This is a big deal, you guys. I'm about ready to cry. I can't tell you. And just giving her a beacon. Easier said than done, you guys. Like what she's doing right now is huge. Huge. So I'm just gonna I like I like where the sand's flat because I know they've been laying down. Where'd she go? There she is. So if you want more confidence, you want to have a bit stronger leadership skills, that's what this is about, is being able to lead through love and connect with compassion and build confidence in them and finding the right tribe to build confidence in yourself. So I'm gonna again signing off. It gets interesting every time I try to. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you watch this and share it. And if you'd like to join me in my self-discovery challenge this Friday, I'm sure there's a link somewhere for that. And my mastermind starts in January. So if that's of interest, it's a 6-week mastermind that starts January 28th. And I hope to see you there. All right, you guys, I hope this was powerful. Go be confident. Look at her. She's over here like blowing out and being like and relaxed and flow through your days with confidence, elegance, and ease. That's wouldn't li- yes, wouldn't life be grand if that was your day every day? And that, my friends, that I could teach you. And I learned it from this guys. I learned it from these guys. All right, guys, have an amazing day, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.